I actually watched him pass by my house and kind of look up, and he claims that you work for citizens groups, and that you know about what's going on.
Yeah, I know about what's going on.
So they don't tell you what people do. They tell you to walk by their house and pretty much wear all black and go there and kind of like a way of like intimidation, harassment.
Yep.
Why do they do this? Like, what do they get out of this?
They don't get nothing out.
And I also want to share something else. I wrote in the city mayor, Mark Oak, Mayor Steve Adler. I wrote Leslie Cole. She's in charge of my area. And I'm having a lot of experiences with people in the community, and I've documented community mobbing. I hope that the city does more to communicate with city commissioners and law enforcement agencies that partner with local neighborhood watch groups. I have documented serious gang stalking and community mobbing. They have been told of its source. Department of Homeland Security's fusion centers are unlisted for a reason, and its Citizens Core program is a danger to the public. Department of Justice knows how many people are gang stalked per year. They even have statistics on it. No wonder they fund Citizens Core. I recently had a house break-in where nothing was stolen, but a knife mark was made across my table. I have a collection of videos on YouTube presenting my facts, some of which have been gathered through private investigators.
You see, this is the FBI, Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigations. Once I get out of the gas station. Now, if you've watched my video called ICE Black Box, Possible Community Mobbing Tool, you will see that I was being confronted here at CVS, and I've had a lot of strange encounters where I go shopping. I'll park at the very farthest parking space, and a white car will park next to me when I get out of the store. And it's done to let me know that these people are policing me or watching me. This is done in a very harassing manner. Now, today I went across the street from that store, well, across the street to a place right next to it. And I noticed I think it's called Haagen-Dazs. It's an ice cream truck parked. And there was a car already parked in front of it, and a white vehicle parked right in front of it. So this vehicle parked right here. When I went to record this tag, this guy came up and said, "Hey, can you move your vehicle? It's kind of rude. You know, we parked at the farthest space so we could, get out of here." But one thing you will notice is that this person that parked there had a military hat and some other stuff. That's all represents the military. So if you look at my video called TI Visits Department of Defense, you will notice that I've had a lot of strange encounters with red cars. Well, the day prior, I had numerous red cars parking next to me. People persistently follow me around. I find this very, very strange. Now, why would someone in the military park their car only one parking space away from a truck that clearly cannot drive frontwards? It has to reverse to get out of there. They're boxed in. And as you see, I'm standing right there, and that's where my car was parked. So this is the same place where I made this video called Icebox Possible Community Mobbing Tool. Now, also note that when I have gone shopping, I normally park at the very farthest lane where there's no cars around for 50 yards, and then when I get out of my car, I'll start noticing people in military uniforms exiting vehicles at the exact moment I get close to my car. So I find this very, very odd. Now, the people doing this have experience in psychological warfare. Now, let me find this other picture. Let me see if I have it. Hold on one second. This is this guy's car. Now, this is something else. I've had a lot of encounters with people wearing NASA shirts in supermarkets and when I get out of parks. I'm not saying this person is a gang stalker, but this is very unusual. So I'm trying to find this picture. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an ice box there, and there's someone standing there looking out. Then I noticed a flash came out of the very back of this SUV. my my cell phone, my computer was full of memory, so I could not record. But I could see two flashes coming out of a black SUV, and people were in it. I tried to get their tag, but there was no memory left in my cell phone to record. But they had curly pieces in their ears. So it appears they may be a part of some type of clandestine agency or something. But it's apparent that they have ties to the U.S. Army. So police are trying to figure out what is going on, because it's not just them. It has been in the past, but it's more than that. It's people in black SUVs and people in the military. Now, just wanted to put that out there. Peace. Okay, if you go to this website here, it's nnw.org. It's the National Sheriff's Association website. You can see all the neighborhood watch groups in your site. Now, I took some notes here, so just bear with me a second here, because I want to give you different examples of the dress codes of people that are involved in gang stalking. Now, look at this guy. He's wearing a black jacket, and he's carrying white earphones. And I looked at his characteristics. He had a lot of extra hair behind his ears. He came across as he was trying to invade my space, and he was confronting me. So gang stalkers confront people. Now let me keep going on. Let me see, I'm looking at my other notes here. Let me go to 1 minute and 43 seconds. So just bear with me for one moment. Well, actually, let me go back for a second, because I want to share this with you. Gang stalkers do move into your house, and not your house, I mean your housing area or your apartment area. Now, I'm just going to play this clip. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm not using this. Now, look at this. Now, let me go back. Crap. Now, look at that. You'll see some white headphones right there. She's carrying a smartphone. When she exits the place, you see a black and white vehicle. I haven't seen these vehicles at no police station, but I have seen them exiting 701 Brazers Avenue. Now, you can't really see this guy here. Let me see if I can zoom in. There's a guy there next to a white vehicle wearing all black. And I would hear him at night using family service radio, and he mentioned my full name and apartment number. And there was times when I was with family, I was going to go out and buy groceries, he would run to my house, wave, and walk back. So I knew something wasn't right. And then a lady that lives underneath me, I have a lot of pictures. Later on, I'll have to make a video when I move from here. Every time I went outside, this lady would go outside. The exact time I would pull into the driveway, she would walk outside, look at me, then walk right back in. I knew something wasn't right. And mind you now, I had moved here to escape the harassment. And this lady was obviously working with some people. Now let me keep going. This car exited 701 Brazers Avenue, the parking lot. And it had some white vehicles on the side with them. So let me keep going. And then when I tried to communicate and honk the horn, a police officer got behind him seconds later. So they have strong ties to local police and Department of Public Safety. You may notice in every city you go to, you may have a lot of encounters with public safety. And also note that targeting is something that the FBI does. It is actually one of their logos. You have to go digging through my, let me see if I can actually pull it up here. Just give me a second, because there's so much stuff on here. But they have a logo in New Mexico. It's called the Target Group. I just passed it. Let me see if I can get it up here again. Here it is right here. And look at this. This is the FBI Target logo. We see law enforcement. You know, we know that they're tied to the Secret Service and the NRA, which gives them a bunch of information. So if you're a gun owner, all your information is being given to the NRA. I don't own any weapons. But they are tied to your schools. Mental health counselors. They use technology to track people. They communicate with your sheriffs. So let me look at my other notes. I made a bunch of notes here on the side so I can actually share with you. 2 minutes and 28 seconds is the next clip. So let me go back here. I took this video down. It had like almost 200,000 views. Hold on 1 second. I was going to share something else. So 2 minutes and 28 seconds. I don't have my context on at this moment, so I can't even see what I'm doing. Hold on. Okay. Because I want to show you guys logos of these. Let me see. I was looking for a different logo. There's a couple of different ones. Let's bear with me one moment, so that way it'll come up. Now look at this. Now when you look at their clothes, you see black and white. White earphones. You see black shirts. And when you look at cop cars, you see black and white. When you look at Masonic temples, you see black and white checkerboard floors. So you're dealing with people in positions of authority that run these regional councils. They're, secret society members at times. There's the homeowners, the business owners. These are the people using people to stalk and harass you. Note that money is changing hands, because people are actually risking their lives to engineer events all across our nation covertly. And they will pass by your house nonstop in 103-degree temperature with hoods on sometimes and heavy jackets. And this can be non-stop. I mean, all day long. So let me keep going here. Bear with me one moment. Let me see if I can find it. And this stuff has actually been reported to have happened to other people. Let me see. Let me go. I'm trying to find the picture. I passed it. Here's one guy. This is in New York. And look, you see FEMA and them. They all wear black. Look at their volunteers. They're all wearing black clothes. And I heard that Trayvon Martin's killer was an InfraGard member. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's the rumor that's been going around. And then you will notice also a lot of white cars coming into your area. Let me see if I can get the clip. And I recorded to the FBI. I told the FBI that these neighbors across the street from me, if you look at my video called T.I. visits gang stalker's home, you will see that that's the same area. It's the same building where he lives at, that I've been harassed by people in groups wearing all black clothing, trying to mob me and harass me. So let me see if I have any more notes after that. Let me see, 7 minutes and 53 seconds. So let's bear with me one more moment. I apologize for the poor quality of this. I'm not using my screen recorder. I'm just going through this as quick as I can and just trying to be straight up about this. Well, let me share with you guys one more other thing. Today I had a doctor's appointment at the oncology place that I go to, because I haven't been feeling well, but now my health is improving. I mean, I was in bad shape. So today is January the 9th, 2018. And at 11 o'clock, I had a doctor's appointment. And in my last video, I mentioned that I was being harassed at HEB. So I want to share with you guys something here. Bear with me one moment, because I have to find it. I believe that was what I meant to share a little while ago, and I was having problems finding it. Okay, here it is. Now, let me go back. I want you guys to really look at this. The past couple times I was going there, these people were waiting on the exits of the place every time I went shopping. Now, look at this real close. It should reverse here. Now, I'm gonna have to play it real slow, because if you don't really pay attention, you're gonna miss it. Now, let me see if I can stop it here real quick. It should go okay. Now, you see that truck right there? Let me go back a little bit. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it. There's a lady where that truck is at, and every time I was going shopping, this lady would pop up there at the front exit, and also she'd park next to my car at times. In a city with 2 million people, that's just not possible. Now remember that silver truck. Hopefully I can get this clip where you can see it. It should reverse back. Okay, do you see that? Where that silver truck is at? Let's go back and see if I can get it to go back a couple inches. It won't let me go because it's so fast. So let's pray. Just really watch. Let me see if I can zoom it. Now there's a lady standing. You see it? You see it? Let me go back. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. And I want you to pay attention to where that silver truck is at. It's a lady with a black shirt there covering her tag. Now watch.
Now, I don't know if you can see it. Do you see it? It's really, really fast. So I'm going to replay it a couple times because I want to make sure people see it. And I'm going to keep on until I get it, make sure that I feel comfortable, because this is real important, people. These people follow, look, and you'll notice these people have a lot of white vehicles, a lot of brand new vehicles at these fusion center complexes. So let me go back. And when they see you with a camera, the first, you seen it right there? You seen her? Where that truck was at? Where I went back, let's go back. Look, I want you to look at it real good. You see this lady there wearing all black covering her tag. So when I go around, you see her? There she is, blocking her tag when she's seeing me with a camera. And on the back side, look, there's a guy right there. He's watching her. And they do this in supermarkets. They gang stalk people in supermarkets and systematically harass people. So I have an index card here. Let me see if I can find it. Because on this index card that I have shows how many times I've been harassed at HEB. Now, I put, for each time I've been harassed, I write a number. So you see what numbers 1 through 141. But this is the thing about it. I stopped doing this a year ago. And I've been harassed multiple times. Now, today I went to my doctor's appointment. My last time I went to HEB, I was systematically harassed by some people in some white cars. Today I go to my doctor's appointment and this lady has this shirt all red saying HEB, proud to shop at HEB. Excuse me. So she bypasses security and says, I need to talk to the doctors. All of a sudden I'm being treated differently. When I get to the front entrance, security pushes a button for me, for the doors to open by themselves when they already opened by themselves. He was trying to give me a hint that he was watching me. So I'm even being harassed at doctor's appointments. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Okay, just taking a walk. Before I moved here, I had this strange experience. This lady that lives in this apartment in the corner, she confronted me by 1.5 feet. I just lost my computer and she walked up to me and gave me this evil grin. And I had just lost my computer that was given to me as a gift. So, I'll take a number. It is not this one right here. It's 1721. So, she may not live there now. She was a chubby woman, and she had this bag, like the U.S. flag on it. Carried this laptop, and I was in my car to get my spare. And she gave me the nastiest grin. So, after making this video called Citizens Court and Unconstitutional Treatment about the gang stalking, I talked to this guy across the street. And he has a silver truck. Real nice guy. I can't get his tag from here. But anyways, if you want it, I can give it to you. He told me to talk to this guy that runs his apartments on the corner over here. So, the next day I had 2 Mustangs parked right next to me. So, okay, no big deal. Then I started having more colors, like color coordination. But this was really strange. I've been harassed by a lot of people wearing black shirts. When we look at neighborhood watch groups, you see in their manuals, they're supposed to wear black shirts. But every day, when I pulled up to my house, a lady that used to live here, was an Hispanic woman, every single day, for a year, she would come outside wearing a black shirt. Every single day. Now, when I lived in New Mexico, I complained about being stalked by women and harassed in the community. She lived right underneath me. She recently moved out. And I confronted her in a very polite way. I said, look, you know, I got a lot of weird because I have persistently asked the police for help, federal government, the city, state. I've been on TV. I've contacted representatives, congressmen. I mean, nonstop. I mean, I'm sick of it. So, trying everything in my power to be a good person and just have this harassment stopped. But I'm being harassed at home. I'm being harassed in school. I'm being harassed when I shop. I mean, even when I eat. Even when I sleep. Now, you guys have seen my video about sonic attacks. Being systematically harassed. I mean, what more can I do? I've contacted as many agencies as humanly possible.
Take exit 245, on right, towards FM 734, then turn left.
Okay, I am at this place right here. It's called the Small Business City of Boston Economic Development, and they fund an accelerator program, which I was in after I left Cybertex and lost my $18,000 scholarship. I got into this program, so I'm going to talk to them because I want them to know what I went through and see how I can file a formal complaint against that program called the Accelerator Program, which is actually in a city building. They actually have the City of Boston logo on the front door of this building. So I'm just going to leave it running while we...
She's here. Well, it's nice to meet you anyway. I was like, oh, isn't it? Hi, I'm Veronica.
My name's Robert.
Robert, nice to meet you.
Talked to people at the city, and they told me you may be able to help me.
Okay.
I had a problem. I was in a program called the Accelerator Program.
Accelerate?
Yeah, it's called, well, you guys could have it by a different name. I guess you guys call it the Accelerate Entrepreneur Program. It's called Accelerate. I mean, the city employees are all nice, but I had a serious problem with the teacher. For no reason at all, he called me a bitch. And I had a classmate in there saying sometimes the community has to teach people a lesson. So I recorded it, and I shared with people what I was going through because they can't figure it out, but it appears someone's been going around town, like wherever I'm at, jobs, office slandering me. And I wanted to see if there's a way maybe I can file a complaint, not against the city, nothing like that, but against that program. It's actually in a city building, and I was okay, I just left the police station. Now I'm going to the hospital where I was harassed. And I note that I called security yesterday concerning possible stalking here at the hospital. I've received no call. It's already past, 2 o'clock. I'm there, so I'm coming to the hospital to talk to security. When I came here earlier, a security guard was here. I showed him pictures of my cars being slashed up, damage to my property. He just smiled, gave me this real smirky smile. So what I find strange is that last time I came here, he pressed a button to open the doors when they open automatically, right when I walked out. And I was being harassed at the HEB, and this lady, all of a sudden, comes in an HEB shirt and bypasses the security, which I find really, really odd. And I was sort of being treated differently, so I'm going to look for the security. Excuse me, ma'am, do you know where the security is at?
Yeah, right through this little hall here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anything else happen?
So they can't file a case?
No, not just that sticker that was on your car.
But you know, someone went in the bathroom and stated that they're watching me too.
Well, what I'm going to say as far as that goes is because you were recording in a bathroom. You had a phone out recording video in the bathroom. I'd say that too because I want you to know that.
I have to. Someone was sitting there watching me doing
You
something.
can't record people in bathrooms. People have expectations of privacy in a bathroom, so you're not able to record people in there.
I'm a paralegal, sir. I'm not trying to be rude, but Texas law allows people to record in public, and I was actually using the bathroom.
Is not public. Bathroom, you have a reasonable expectation of privacy in a bathroom. You can't record people in a bathroom.
But I was using the bathroom, and someone told
what
me.
I'm telling you is that this is not enough to file a report.
Okay.
Enough to document it that you came here, but no criminal offense has been committed.
All right.
Right now. That's why I'm giving you this number. This shows that you came in here and spoke to us.
Okay.
As far as all this stuff happening at HEB and things in Austin, I called them and let them know what's going on as well.
All right.
And then if any more stuff continues to happen, that ends up being a criminal offense, you can come back, reference that call number,
Okay.
and ask to speak to an officer, okay?
So they actually have a report or anything on that, so that way I can actually, if I relocate, I can actually show that this has happened more than one time, or this has actually happened?
This will show that you did come in here and speak to an officer.
Okay.
I'm going to put some call notes into it, and it's going to show that you came in, spoke to me, and what you spoke to me about. But
Okay.
it's not going to be a full-blown case report.
Well, I see.
It's going to get sent to a detective or anything.
All right.
So until something criminal occurs, I can't file a report.
All right.
So hold on to that. I contact Austin, let them know what's going on, and then if things like that continue to happen in Cedar Park, come back and let us know, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Now you see that they're not going to file a police report for nothing criminal because they say that there is an exploitation of privacy in a bathroom, that I was being harassed in a bathroom. Isn't that strange? So they did give me a case, not a case number, but like a file number. They're not going to file a report because they're saying that it's not criminal. So this is just also strange. I went to Medical Parkway to see my Dr. Bala because I had been feeling well. They've been treating me. My health's improving. So I had noticed in the past that some strange activity where I went to the men's bathroom about a week ago. I was here on the 5th, and the video on YouTube is right there. And when I was in the bathroom, I heard someone say, "I'm watching you." I thought I was just a kid just playing around, childish game. When I went to my car, I noticed that I had a sticker on my car, and it had like an eye on it. I found that kind of odd. No other car had it. I wasn't in a tow space or nothing. And I've had property damage to my vehicle up to $1,900. I've had things ripped off. I've been spit on since I've lived here. And I'm trying to figure out what's the problem. I have been able to link in the past Citizens Court, and I am thinking of going to litigation with them because they have harassed me. I mean, I have video proof of it, but it's costly.
You reported all these to Austin.
Now I am at Cedar Park Police Department, Austin, Texas. And this is explaining the harassment I'm experiencing at the bathroom. And I'm also going to mention I've been harassed at HEB. Okay, when I first moved here, this lady had moved in here days later. For a whole entire year, she came outside wearing all black every single day. Now, this is where it gets really strange. When I enrolled into Cybertex, a guy sat next to me every single day in class wearing all black. And one day he handed me a piece of paper with all my personal information. Now, I know that I was being harassed at home, at school, and in the community, even while I'm shopping. 2 years ago. This is still happening now. So I lost my scholarship and went to Goodwill. And one day a guy started whistling at me, right in my face. When I was in school, every time I said something, people started whistling. So it was like to annoy me. So I ended up leaving that and going to the Accelerate program, which is funded by the city. And I recently spoke with the city yesterday concerning harassment at the Accelerate program, where the teacher called me a bitch in front of. Okay, I had made a report here, and I had spoken to a dispatcher before they sent an officer. So here is the caller taker ID. It is APD 6687, and her name was Kelly Monica. The complaint was taken on June 2nd, 2016. Now, I have been persistently going to the hospital and experiencing stalking. I'm covering up my case number. I spoke with this officer today. Today it is January the 11th, and my case number is under there. So I explained to him that I was being harassed in the community and while I'm shopping at HEB persistently. So then I also went here. I'm covering my case number, January 11th. I have the case number covered up, but this is the police station that I went to, and they gave me a case number on the back of this. Now, this officer was very, very polite,
But he stated that when he did research to see if I had any cases on file, none are on file. Now, I did receive a letter from the Austin Police Department. And as I have just recently here just shared some information concerning the report. Okay, if you go to this website here, it's nnw.org. It's the National Sheriff's Association website. You can see all the neighborhood watch groups in your site. Now, I took some notes here, so just bear with me a second here, because I want to give you different examples of the dress codes of people that are involved in gang stalking. Now, look at this guy. He's wearing a black jacket, and he's carrying white earphones. And I looked at his characteristics. He had a lot of extra hair behind his ears. He came across as he was trying to invade my space, and he was confronting me. So gang stalkers confront people. Now let me keep going on. Let me see, I'm looking at my other notes here. Let me go to 1 minute and 43 seconds. So just bear with me for one moment. Well, actually, let me go back for a second, because I want to share this with you. Gang stalkers do move into your house, and not your house, I mean your housing area or your apartment area. Now, I'm just going to play this clip. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm not using this. Now look at this. Now let me go back. Crap. Now look at that. You'll see some white headphones right there. She's carrying a smartphone. When she exits the place, you see a black and white vehicle. I haven't seen these vehicles at no police station, but I have seen them exiting 701 Brazers Avenue. Now you can't really see this guy here. Let me see if I can zoom in. There's a guy there next to a white vehicle wearing all black. And I would hear him at night using family service radio, and he mentioned my full name and apartment number. And there was times when I was with family, I was going to go out and buy groceries, he would run to my house, wave, and walk back. So I knew something wasn't right. And then a lady that lives underneath me, I have a lot of pictures. Later on, I'll have to make a video when I move from here. Every time I went outside, this lady would go outside. The exact time I would pull into the driveway, she would walk outside, look at me, then walk right back in. I knew something wasn't right. And mind you now, I had moved here to escape the harassment. And this lady was obviously working with some people. Now let me keep going. This car exited 701 Brazers Avenue, the parking lot. And it had some white vehicles on the side with them. So let me keep going. And then when I tried to communicate and honk the horn, a police officer got behind him seconds later. So they have strong ties to local police and Department of Public Safety. You may notice in every city you go to, you may have a lot of encounters with public safety. And also note that targeting is something that the FBI does. It is actually one of their logos. You have to go digging through my, let me see if I can actually pull it up here. Just give me a second, because there's so much stuff on here. But they have a logo in New Mexico. It's called the Target Group. I just passed it. Let me see if I can get it up here again. Here it is right here. And look at this. This is the FBI Target logo. We see law enforcement. You know, we know that they're tied to the Secret Service and the NRA, which gives them a bunch of information. So if you're a gun owner, all your information is being given to the NRA. I don't own any weapons. But they are tied to your schools. Mental health counselors. They use technology to track people. They communicate with your sheriffs. So let me look at my other notes. I made a bunch of notes here on the side so I can actually share with you. 2 minutes and 28 seconds is the next clip. So let me go back here. I took this video down. It had like almost 200,000 views. Hold on 1 second. I was going to share something else. So 2 minutes and 28 seconds. I don't have my context on at this moment, so I can't even see what I'm doing. Hold on. Okay, because I want to show you guys logos of these. Let me see. I was looking for a different logo. There's a couple of different ones. Let's bear with me one moment, so that way it'll come up. Now look at this. Now, when you look at their clothes, you see black and white. White earphones, you see black shirts. And when you look at cop cars, you see black and white. When you look at Masonic temples, you see black and white checkerboard floors. So you're dealing with people in positions of authority that run these regional councils. They're, secret society members at times. There's the homeowners, the business owners. These are the people using people to stalk and harass you. Note that money is changing hands, because people are actually risking their lives to engineer events all across our nation covertly. And they will pass by your house nonstop in 103-degree temperature with hoods on sometimes and heavy jackets. And this can be non-stop. I mean, all day long. So let me keep going here. Bear with me one moment. Let me see if I can find it. And this stuff has actually been reported to have happened to other people. Let me see. Let me go. I'm trying to find the picture. I passed it. Here's one guy. This is in New York. And look, you see FEMA on them. They all wear black. Look at their volunteers. They're all wearing black clothes. And I heard that Trayvon Martin's killer was an InfraGard member. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's the rumor that's been going around. And then you will notice also a lot of white cars coming into your area. Let me see if I can get the clip. And I recorded to the FBI. I told the FBI that these neighbors across the street from me, if you look at my video called T.I. visits Gang Stalker's home, you will see that that's the same area. It's the same building where he lives at, that I've been harassed by people in groups wearing all black clothing, trying to mob me and harass me. So let me see if I have any more notes after that. Let me see, 7 minutes and 53 seconds. So let's break one more moment. I apologize for the poor quality of this. I'm not using my screen recorder. I'm just going through this as quick as I can and just trying to be straight up about this. Well, let me share with you guys one more other thing. Today I had a doctor's appointment at the oncology place that I go to, because I haven't been feeling well, but now my health is improving. I mean, I was in bad shape. So today is January the 9th, 2018. And at 11 o'clock, I had a doctor's appointment. And in my last video, I mentioned that I was being harassed at HEB. So I want to share with you guys something here. Bear with me one moment, because I have to find it. I believe that was what I meant to share a little while ago, and I was having problems finding it. Okay, here it is. Now, let me go back. I want you guys to really look at this. The past couple times I was going there, these people were waiting on the exits of the place every time I went shopping. Now, look at this real close. It should reverse here. Now, I'm going to have to play it real slow, because if you don't really pay attention, you're going to miss it. Now, let me see if I can stop it here real quick. It should go, okay. Now, you see that truck right there? Let me go back a little bit. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it. There's a lady where that truck is at. And every time I was going shopping, this lady would pop up there at the front exit. And also, she'd park next to my car at times. In a city with 2 million people, that's just not possible. Now, remember that silver truck. Hopefully, I can get this clip where you can see it. It should reverse back. Hey, did you see that? Where that silver truck is at? Let's go back and let me see if I can get it to go back a couple inches. It won't let me go because it's so fast. So let's pray. Just really watch. Let me see if I can zoom it. Now, there's a lady standing. You see it? You see it? Let me go back. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. And I want you to pay attention to where that silver truck is at. It's a lady with a black shirt there covering her tag. Now watch. Now, I don't know if you can see it. Do you see it? It's really fast. So I'm going to replay it a couple times because I want to make sure people see it. And I'm going to keep on until I get it, make sure that I feel comfortable, because this is real important, people. These people follow, look, and you'll notice these people have a lot of white vehicles, a lot of brand new vehicles at these fusion center complexes. So let me go back. And when they see you with a camera, the first, you seen it right there? You seen her? Where that truck was at? Where I went back, let's go back. Look, I want you to look at it real good. You see this lady there wearing all black, covering her tag. So when I go around, you see her? There she is, blocking her tag when she's seeing me with a camera. And on the back side, look, there's a guy right there. He's watching her. And they do this in supermarkets. They gang stalk people in supermarkets and systematically harass people. So I have an index card here. Let me see if I can find it. Because on this index card that I have shows how many times I've been harassed at HEB. Now, I put, for each time I've been harassed, I write a number. So you see what numbers 1 through 141. But this is the thing about it. I stopped doing this a year ago. And I've been harassed multiple times. Now, today I went to my doctor's appointment. My last time I went to HEB, I was systematically harassed by some people in some white cars. Today I go to my doctor's appointment and this lady has this shirt all red saying HEB, proud to shop at HEB. Excuse me. So she bypasses security and says, I need to talk to the doctors. All of a sudden I'm being treated differently. When I get to the front entrance, security pushes a button for me, the doors to open by themselves when they already open by themselves. He was trying to give me a hint that he was watching me. So I'm even being harassed at doctor's appointments. Thank you for listening. Bye. Okay, at this building right here is a guy that works. I don't know if his name is Robert, but this is called Duplexes at Walnut Creek. And I was told by a neighbor to go talk to this guy, that he knows something about what's going on. So I guess he runs this place here. So one day I took a walk. I've only taken 2 walks since I have lived in Texas, in the neighborhood, due to persistent organized harassment. Now, when I made this video called Citizens Core and Unconstitutional Treatment, there's a lady here that drives a black car. She parked around here somewhere. So it was like right around this area. Now, that the video I made called FEMA's Citizens Core and Unconstitutional Treatment was recorded right around here. Right around this area right here. Right against the street. So, what I find strange is I've had neighbors acting weird with me. One day I went for a walk and I had, I had a girl put on a hood over her head and get in front of my face and walk away. And it was around here somewhere. I'm trying to remember where it was at. But it was around here somewhere. So, let me see if I forgot which house it is. They might have moved out. These are rentals. This was like about a year ago. But when I was walking, it was crazy. Because it was real hot, over 102 degrees. And I think the guy lives right around here somewhere. I think it was this house right here. Guy comes out with a suit, standing outside with a suit on. It's 1803, I believe it was that house. Now, when I talked to this guy right here, here's his tag. It's CYN. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. CYN 5997. So he has a silver truck. I talked to this guy, and he told me to go talk to this guy over here. He knows what's going on. So one day, I went over there. He wasn't there, but I went to the grocery store, and 2 Mustangs parked side by side, same exact model. It's the weirdest thing, and I started having this happen like all the time, like a lot of community harassment. So I'm gonna see if I start having a lot of white cars parked next to me. I'm gonna go to the park. But when I went to the supermarket, I had like 7 white cars parked around me. Then when I went to get my mail, it was like 9 white cars. I mean, it's white cars everywhere. So I'm going to see what my experience is going to be when I go to the park.
I've been moving state to state. Some of the tactics these people utilize are FEMA's whole community-based approach movement. Now, this movement is based on utilizing people to police you, from HHS, local police, feminist groups, colleges, universities involved in community engagement, public safety work. A lot of this stuff is done as an experiment. In other words, we don't know what's going to happen out of this. We're in 2018 and we're still conducting social experiments, not knowing what's going to happen. So we know that community mobbing, harassing people, leads to serious events. And I have been working to prevent violent activities from occurring in our nation by exposing gang stalking. Gang stalking is nothing more than systematically harassing people through the utilization of stakeholders and partners. They're mostly contractors that are tied to the FBI. It can be the NSA, CIA, and different organizations. There's corporations that actually do this. The FBI has a long history of targeting people. Civic groups do this. Police do this. They are secret community policing strategies which not even Department of Justice will share, because it would be very damaging to our national security. And what happens is that anytime you get the community involved in trying to remove someone from a community, these people will damage people's cars, break into their homes, maybe poison them, slander them in the community because they want them out, because they're starting to figure out what's going on. They don't stop and allow the person to be productive. They enter stores, they communicate with loss and prevention employees in every store you go to. They may communicate with store managers. This is all part of DHS's initiatives. They want to promote community policing, and they're getting so much money that they have to actually label potential criminals as threats. So our country is being filled with a serious problem. It's called gang stalking. Now, FEMA's employees are good people, but a lot of times they're getting watered down information. And then you got a lot of people that have experience from the U.S. Army in electronic warfare. They still have these connections. In many cases, they're still reservists. The majority of these people are reservists. So you're dealing with a lot of people that have experience in psychological warfare, electronic warfare. And we know that electronic warfare is all about causing harm to a person. So what's happening is that our country never had a gang stalking problem. There was always cases here and there with the FBI targeting people, but not to this point where we have the United States Secret Service, the FBI, fusion centers, all these different neighborhood watch groups getting involved in this harassment. Now we know that millions of dollars is going towards different Jewish organizations. They're getting involved in this community policing. You may hire a private investigator and he may show you proof, like, look, a lot of these people are Jewish. I'm not a racist person, but this movement is about utilizing stakeholders in large groups of people. And what better way to target people but by using religious groups? So a lot of these groups hide behind the United States flag. A lot of them are radical feminists. A lot of them are tied to secret societies. They utilize threat assessments. Let's say you're disabled, you got back from war, you have PTSD, and you want to go to school. They might say, okay, let's target this person. So what's happening is that there is too many people doing threat assessments. A lot of people that are targeted, they're not going to find themselves on a list, because it would make the system look really bad, extremely bad, if a person has proof that they're being targeted, and then later on they find out they're on a list. So I have utilized people that I know within the system, and they say, look, you're not on a list, you don't have anything, you're no threat to no one, you don't own a weapon, you're not a drug dealer, you're not a sex offender, you're not, nothing, that can harm anyone. So why are these people doing this? Because of money. This is a billion-dollar industry. I was recently watching a video from one guy, trying to remember the name of the video, but anyways, you'll have to go and look on YouTube. It's called something leaked gang stalking video, and this guy was working for a group called The Collective. So So really, really interesting. He left it. Now he's targeted. But anyways, to make a long story short, they are many contractors from the CIA and different agencies which target people because this is a billion-dollar industry. So this movement is based on mobbing people. It's based on harassing people systematically. So what these people will do, these gang stalkers, the police and their friends, from what I have gathered, is that they will use NLP tactics, neuro-linguistic programming, and they will have people from different state government agencies and so on, contractors, and they may follow you around with one headlight, and you may go out one day, you may have a day off of work and go to the supermarket to buy, you know, some milk, eggs, or whatever, steak, and within an 8-block radius, you may have 30 encounters with new cars with one headlight. Now we know in Austin, the probability of that happening is impossible, especially when you have houses, every block are like $300,000-$400,000. The probability of an event makes it mathematically impossible when you look at the amount of money people get paid out here. This is a middle-class town. So if you drive 8 blocks and every block you turn, you have 5 or 6 cars behind you with one headlight, know that something isn't right. And what these people want to do is they want to sensitize you, so every time you see a car with one headlight, you think you're being stalked. So you may go shopping, and every time you go shopping, the person behind you is buying the same exact items you're buying. So you go to another store and it happens again and again and again. And we also have predictive policing software programs. They're used also by corporations, intelligence agencies, and private investigators. A lot of this stuff is coming from Dell. They provide a lot of highly sophisticated computer software programs which can be used to help police solve crimes and so on. But people are being targeted by some of these programs. So if you're running tags and you're seeing these people work for the U.S. Army that are following you, know that they're probably a part of they're like maybe reservists or contractors, maybe working with FEMA, volunteering through Citizens Corps, because the U.S. Army and Citizens Corps have a partnership. Now you're not going to see the U.S. Army Special Command coming to help you, coming to your aid, saying, hey, fellow American, we support the U.S. Constitution. No, sir. I respect the U.S. Army. Both of my grandfathers have taken bullets for this nation, and they both were in the Army. But the truth is that you're not going to see the Army helping you. You're not going to see your state attorney running to help you, your city commissioner, your city mayor, your state governor, because these people are stakeholders with Citizens Corps in most cities in America. The FBI does target people. These people doing this, in my opinion, are a bunch of turds, because they're out here, instead of helping someone, they're out here hurting someone. So they're really no different than the criminal, in my opinion. If you know that an activity could cause a serious problem, why would you turn a blind eye and allow it to happen? So when I wake up in the morning, I feel really good, probably better than most of these people doing this crap, because I know that I'm not harming no one. That the only thing I'm trying to do is survive, and survive in the best way that I can by trying to do everything in an ethical and humane manner. FEMA in the past has put red dots on people's stickers. One sheriff talked about it. And when we look at the paper trail of where a lot of this money is going to from FEMA, we see that it's going down to a lot of churches and Jewish organizations. A lot of this grant funding is being passed down because these people are being used as tools for the system to stalk people.
A while ago I had this guy get behind me, honking his horn, screaming at me. I hadn't even pulled up to the road. And now I got a lady right now with one headlight following me. I don't know if she's doing this community-oriented policing crap. I don't think every time I see a car with one headlight following me, that it's the police, but I'm having some strange encounters with people. See if she has one headlight? So, then she's turning back in this lane. It's a strange lane. She changes lanes and let me see her, then she comes back. So, these people have been trying to make their presence known and harassing me, honking a horn in groups and fucking with me.
Check this out. 45 senators support bill that makes boycotting Israel a crime. This is a direct violation of the First Amendment. Now, let's keep going on. A bill that would criminalize boycotts against Israel has been signed by 45 U.S. senators and 237 congressmen. Now, I feel bad for what happened to the Jews by Hitler, but that was a long time ago. But to deny people the right to boycott Israel, let's say they're harming Palestinian children. Well, we've always used sanctions against other nations to try to control them and to humiliate them. So I find it wrong for our country to say, hey, you can't boycott another nation. Boycotting doesn't mean you hate that nation. It could be you disapprove with a practice that is going on. It can be concerning the Palestinian people and so on. So we see that our freedoms are in jeopardy. I'm on the wrong page. Hold on 1 second. We see that in the past, fusion centers have targeted whistleblowers and mostly people that are marginalized. I haven't read this book, but I've read about 50 pages of it that I was able to read for free on one other site before buying the book. This book is called FEMA, the Storefront for Disaster Relief / a Backroom of Hidden Agendas. I've read 50 pages of it. It's a really good book so far, so I encourage people to check it out. The Kindle version is only $9.99. But when we study FEMA and its programs, we see that millions, if not billions, are given to churches to help with preparedness, emergency preparedness. And when we really look at where this money is going to, we see that a lot of this money is going to Jewish organizations. I'm not saying anything bad, but we're talking about billions of dollars all across our country is going to Jewish organizations. These are organizations which are stakeholders with groups like Citizens Corps. Look, we just see Jewish. So we are sustaining Jewish congregations, but what about our churches here in America? We're helping some. We're helping a lot of hospitals too. So if we're giving money to hospitals, and we know FEMA is pretty much the U.S. Department of Homeland Security because they are a component of DHS. Do you think that these organizations want to lose their grant money? I mean, the list keeps going on and on and on. We see a lot of colleges, universities. So we're talking about serious money. Now, I want to share something else. Because the rabbit hole, it goes deep. Now, bear with me one moment, because I have some papers here that I want to share with you guys. A little while ago, I printed this out. And this guy, I'm pretty sure he's a good guy. I'm not talking bad about this person. He hasn't done anything to me. But I was just doing research on Citizens Corps and typing it up on LinkedIn, and this guy came out. Now, I'm sure he's a good person. I'm not saying anything bad about this individual. But under here it says volunteer national security contractors. Under DHS and DOD, sanctioned under the Patriot Act and by DOD. We do the U.S. government's dirty work for the U.S. Department of Defense and DHS by keeping world peace and the American people safe. We work side by side independently with Interpol, the NSA, DOD, DHS, FBI, CIA, DEA, State Department, FEMA, UN, etc.
So when I look, I see a lot of things Jewish. Let's see here. FEMA, Citizens Corps. So a lot of this stuff is done by people that are contractors. They're getting paid. And you can check out his profile. Let me share his name one more time. And I'm not saying anything bad about this guy. I'm sure he's a good person.
Greetings, fellow TIs. Now, when I first moved to this apartment complex, this was back in 2015, I believe. This timestamp on this video is wrong. I started having encounters with neighbors where they would exit their apartment at the same time I would, walk to my car, stand there, right in front of my bumper, and then when I would leave, they would walk back into their apartments. And then when I would get home, they would do the same thing. It was this lady that moved in right beneath my apartment. She always wore a black shirt. And what I find strange is that when you look at my videos concerning harassment, the people normally wear black clothes. When we do research on FEMA and their members, we see they normally have in their handbooks that they're supposed to wear black clothes. So you see the guy here with the crossbone shirt, and then you see another one, and I'm being confronted. And this guy, he clearly states in this video that he knows about Citizens Corps, he works for them.
They take to walk by their house and pretty much wear all black and go there and kind of like a way of like intimidation, harassment. Why do they do this? Like, what do they get out of this?
I don't get nothing out.
So I didn't play the whole clip, but he knows about Citizens Corps. I edited some stuff because I didn't want him to be placed in a situation where he could be harmed. But he said that they work with police. So I started having encounters with different neighbors, and this lady was really nice, but let's face it, if someone that's in law enforcement or a neighbor talks to another neighbor and say, hey, make your presence known to this guy, people are going to do it because they're concerned. So this lady, she was really nice, but I noticed her walk out of her apartment, duck down behind her trunk in the very rear side, and I seen her peeking at me, and I was like, ma'am, are you okay? And she was like, yeah. And then I had other neighbors doing the same thing, experienced it while I was shopping, people spitting inches from me. I mean, it was just nonstop to the point where I was in contact with the police. I said, look, this is getting sickening. I'm being systematically harassed. Now, I didn't pre-plan this video, so let me see. I'm just going to... Oh, and then I've had strange stuff. Look at this. I just missed it. Let me see if I can find it. Now, this came up on my computer, and it was a remote user. And I went to a doctor's appointment, and I get back, and this guy is dressed with the same shoes and same jacket as my doctor.
Remember how...
I'm just going to pass it right here. Just really crazy stuff. There it is right there.
Never mind.
Let me see. It's really, really quick.
Remember how I was telling you about this guy?
Now, you can see him right there. He's wearing a doctor's jacket. And then while I was at my doctor's office, a guy was like not parked in the parking spaces. He had his car parked on the side. And he said, I'm just here smoking. And I was being harassed in stores like you would not believe. Now, let me keep going. It gets more interesting. I have a video where I talk to these people. And let me see, I might have passed it too much. Okay, let's see here, up. I talked to these people right here. So I'm taking a bike ride, and that day I had contacted the police because it was like 104 degrees. And I had people doing foot patrols down my street, nonstop wearing jackets and black clothes. And it was really, really strange because some of these people would like whistle the exact moment they passed by my house. And it would be one after another. They were like giving cues, like community policing cues that I guess the COPS program and Citizens Corps uses. And you noticed these people have all black. Now, I'm not going to play the other video from like the day prior because I've seen them pacing back and forth around my place. And I talked to them. And what is strange is that I've shared videos about Citizens Corps. Let me see if I have it in this video. It's actually around here.
And you can see this black and white vehicle. Its license plate starts with CTC, and they dress in all black. And I have some videos concerning the stuff they do. So when I mentioned this video, I left New Mexico due to the harassment. So you can see this guy here, he's with a woman, and I confront them and talk to them in another video. And when I pass by them, they can't even look at me in my face. You know, we talked for like 15 minutes. They didn't say hi or nothing. But they knew that guy's car, and knew where that guy lived, which is strange. And I told them, I said, you guys know this isn't right. And they were like, yeah. So the people are being paid. They didn't snitch. But it appears a lot of these people they're using are druggies or, you know, the very bottom of the bucket, not very intelligent. And the police are trying to help these people to get on their feet. And eventually they're going to wise up. But they kind of slipped up and didn't mean to. They didn't know who I was. They probably assumed I was a cop because I had a body camera on. So before I see those people, I contacted the police because I told them that I was being harassed everywhere I was going. I'd be like in a place on a sidewalk where no one was around, and then someone would walk past me with a jacket. And then once I would get close to them, they'd throw a hood on and then take it off once they passed me, or they would just, you know, do some like hand signals. So I'm biking, I mean, it's hot. It is hot. And then this guy comes up past this bush, and I just spoke to the police concerning this, and they told me contact us because it is unusual to see people wearing big jackets in hot temperatures, and if it's persistent, we need to know. So we see there's two cop cars, and then we see a guy with a jacket. No big deal, right? Because there's a lot of people that wear jackets to lose weight. But we see two cop cars there. And what I find even more strange, and then I've also had the strange stuff where my screen removers are removed. And then, let me see here. And this is, this can be all day long, people. So what happens is these people try to sensitize people to the color black. Now this girl right here, I don't know if she comes up good. I actually seen her nonstop. It was for a while, a period. I got my car to see if I can get a snapshot of her. It's going slow now because my computer's bogged down because I have so much stuff open. So I noticed this girl daily pacing back and forth around my place. I found it kind of odd. And then what happens is that people become sickened due to this, and they assume every time they see someone wearing a black shirt that it's someone trying to stalk them. Because this happens, I mean, nonstop. Neighbors get involved in this. I mean, I haven't recorded nothing. And I left New Mexico because I was receiving threats, and I was followed around nonstop by people with unmarked tags. I mean, this was all day long. So I went to investigate, and what I found out was that the FBI actually participates in gang stalking. And when you ask for help, they refuse to help. And I have photos where it's like all day long, I was being followed around, all day long. And these people are FBI agents. So what I did was, to discover the people behind my harassment, I would deliberately park nearby places, try to take photos of parking lots, because I wanted to see if any of those cars matched the cars that were on the road, following me around for 20 miles, whatever, every block I turned. Because then I would have a lawsuit. Because if I didn't do that, then I would not be able to sue. Now, these people in these cars, they wear black shirts. Let me see if this thing will come on. My computer's bogged down because I'm using... right behind you. Now, you see this black and white car, I was behind him originally, and then I went off the road, and then later on I noticed a cop car got behind him. Because I tried to flag him down. I was nice. I said, hey, I'd just like to ask you a question. So you can't really see it, but there's a white and black little police car back behind there too. And they have this, it has the same license plate, I believe, in this one, or maybe it was different, but they exited 701 Brazers Avenue. That's where Citizens Corps is at. And I have complained about the harassment, and they wear black clothes and kind of like follow people around. They talk to... They work also with the FBI and the United States Secret Service. So I think what's happening to a lot of targets is that when they're investigating and trying to get answers... It's a lot of verbal abuse. When they're trying to get answers concerning this program and trying to crack the code, that these people that are doing this, they are treated as insider threats because they're not a threat to no one, but these people consider them a threat because they know what's going on, even though these people that are insider threats have no gun, they're just asking for help. These people want to try to eliminate them, so they do it as covertly as possible. They try to make a person's life as toxic as humanly possible. The harassment will be evident in school. It'll be harassment in your neighborhood, at your local store, your local convenience store. I have proof of this. Your neighbors. So that way, every day is a toxic day. You're harassed on the road. You're harassed in the bathrooms, everywhere you go. You're harassed in libraries. You're harassed by city workers. You're harassed by cashiers. You're harassed by kids. I mean, I've been harassed by pregnant women. I've had pregnant women harass me. And when I look at the vehicles, I see neighborhood watch. I mean, just a similar pattern. It's like a nonstop, a similar pattern. And then, I don't know if I'm going to have it in this video, but let me see. It's in another video. I have a video where I go down North Lamar, and all you see on both sides of the road are people dressed in all black, but they're on both sides of the road, but they're walking simultaneously. And you see, like 50 feet up, another 2 people wearing black shirts, 4 people over here, and they're crisscrossing against roads, going into buildings, coming out of buildings. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. So when I typed it up, it came up street theater. So this street theater, I believe, is coming from fusion centers and being promoted on a local level. And since the police are under fusion centers, they're not going to tell. And they're going to go along with the program, knowing that it violates our constitutional rights. And that it's done to make a person's life toxic, to make them paranoid and make them sick. And they know fully well that these programs can cause serious events because mobbing is tied to mass shootings according to professors. So we have to speak against the mass shootings. We have to speak against activities which have been proven scientifically, and that can be proven in court to cause these events. So I go to Department of Justice because what I'm sharing is nothing. I go talk to them, and this lady, she comes out, gets about 2 feet from me, stares at me for about 12 seconds, walks into this office, grabs a black jacket on, puts it on, and then she just kind of stares at me and laughs. She goes back into an office. So I go to Wal Mart, and this guy, he's in this, I think it was like black, and I think it was like a darkish colored vehicle, and it had a blue stripe on it. This guy pulls up next to me, bumps into me in the store, says, "Oh, I'm very sorry." And then I go on the road, I had another encounter with him, there's no one around, I'm in the middle of nowhere. He pops up at a light. There's not a car around. In a city with over, 2 million people. I'm deliberately going out of town to go to a remote place to meditate. He pulls up. I go to the store again. He pulls up. And then I exit the vehicle, and some guys, they're black guys, come up to me with a piece of paper, and it says massacre on it with blood, and says, "Here, you want this?" And they walk away. I mean, I was just totally bugged out, seeing just nothing but harassment. And I would see people, they're wearing black, and they would be on different parts of a parking lot. They're observing, and I would see them, motioning, doing some hand motions, over there, pointing towards me. I mean, this crap can make any person highly sick. Fortunately, I have a spiritual belief, but if someone had no spiritual belief, I think the average person would have just totally lost it. And these people will come into, let's say that day I mentioned that I was being harassed by people with jackets. These people, one day I went to a restaurant, and this guy walked in with a humongous jacket. The temperature that day was 104 degrees. This guy was skinnier than me. Everyone, I would say about a good 90% of the people in that place I was at, it was like a lounge area, kind of open, were wearing summer attire. This guy was the 20th person that day I had seen wearing a jacket. I go to the college and I see some people in a SUV drop off a woman, and she's wearing this humongous mink fur jacket. I mean, it's huge. It's the thickest jacket I ever seen. And she starts walking past me. Then I have a video where it's neighbors that live right behind my house. I have their address. They have a relative there. It's a young girl. she lives on the corner of the street, and I have their exact address. She walks up to me, and as she walks straight towards me. She stops, throws on her hood, and then walks backwards, takes her hood off, and goes to her house. Days later, I had to contact 911. I was walking, and this lady walks up towards me, doing this heavy breathing. She has a bandana covering her whole face, covering her face, and I was concerned because as she got close to me, she acted like she was going to pull a weapon out. Like she was acting like she was going to go ahead and pull something out the exact second she passed by me. So I remained calm because I figured what's going to happen is going to happen. I can't stop it. So I noticed the family that kind of paused the video. They were concerned. I contacted 911 and told them, look, we got a person in here that could be potentially dangerous and emotionally unstable because the person is walking in the woods with a bandana covering their face, and that would alarm any human being because it's a middle-class area. So police go out there, and I notice this car parked right next to me. This black car. And as I walk to my car, the guy, and I get in my vehicle, goes, vroom, with this thing like he's mad. So I knew something was up because the last time I experienced that was 2 weeks before I went to a Buddhist temple to pray, and I figured I would go walk for like an hour. And this car gets next to me, and it goes, vroom, 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 vroom. And it keeps looking at me and laughing at me. And two other white cars pull up, and they just start spitting close towards where I'm at. So I knew that guy was part of it. I'm assuming it's a city vehicle. And I had spoke to the city at that time. I was on TV. I have a video about it where I was asking for help. I had been asking for help prior to this in 2015. This has been nonstop.
Okay, now I've mentioned in the past that I've experienced harassment in stores. Now it's kind of toning down. Now these people are utilizing other tactics. So scroll down on my channel and just look for keywords like retail harassment, HEB, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you watch these videos. Now they're toning down. This is what they're doing. Now, as you can see, a black SUV just pulled up. I'm passing by it, and I'm walking into a store. Now, when I go in the store, this is what I do, because I knew something wasn't right because I had two people pass by me, and once I passed by, they whistled at me. So I decided to walk around the store and go to the corner of the store, and I noticed a man right here with a phone, and he signals a woman. You see his hand moved up? Let me go back. So if I go into a store, I like to look to see if there's going to be another person passing by. So watch this. He lifts his hands up to motion to a woman. They use apps to track people, and normally their colors are black and white. Now look, you see his hand go up. I don't know if the woman comes out in this. Let's see. With something. My camera is not the best quality, so bear with me one moment. Let me see if she comes out. I like to look to see if there's going to be another person passing by. So you can see a glimpse of her right there. So every aisle I go, she starts whistling. Then the exact moment they pass by me, they whistle, and then they stop. Now I mentioned when I got to this place that a black SUV had pulled up. This guy's walking this way. He's not walking from the parking lot to over here. So there's a floor and interior decorating supply store down a ways. What I find strange is that the black guy in the SUV that comes in does his hand signals just like that with his finger to this one guy, and they both buy items separately. They did not use verbal communication, When I get in line, the black guy in the black SUV says, "I forgot my wallet." Walks back to his car. This guy, they have a little separator, so when you're buying your food, it doesn't get rung up with someone else's purchase. He divides. They have the divider there, and the guy says, "Oh, I forgot my wallet too," and starts giggling. So both of these people forgot their wallets. Now let's go to 11 minutes and 13 seconds. So, bear with me one moment. So it's 11 minutes. Let me see if I passed it. Now we see him here walking back to the store. At 11 minutes and 13 seconds, let me go back here. See, that's him. He's walking back to the store. And what's funny is that when I asked employees if he worked there, to have a close-up picture of him, they said, "No, this guy doesn't work here. We all wear uniforms." But we've seen him circling around talking to an older man. They assumed I was law enforcement, but never said I was law enforcement, was just asking questions. So he took off in a red car. So what these people do is they utilize NLP tactics to systematically harass someone. Now a lot of people will say that's no big deal. But let's say this happens 8 times a day. And you have people doing all these skits. It's harmful to a person's health. So I want to expose this movement because it's sick. Greetings, fellow TIs. Yesterday I went for a walk. And I noticed that on the curb here, there was a white car. When I walked back to my car, I noticed another white vehicle at the same location on the curb of this supermarket, where I parked my car so that way I could take a walk down the street in this area that's full of shops and restaurants. So if you look at my past videos, you will see that I've complained about being harassed systematically at HEB supermarket. Just scroll down on my channel, press Control F, and then type in HEB, and you will see that I've experienced a lot of harassment and abuse at HEB supermarkets by an organization called Citizens Corps. So when I parked my car, this white car wasn't there. It was a different white car. When I walked back to my car was parked right over here. I noticed a bunch of people around my vehicle. So I decided to walk around the parking lot and head towards the front end of my car because these people started whistling once I passed by. I didn't think nothing of it, but I wanted to see if this was the same car that was there when I first parked there, and it wasn't. So it had its lights on, and its tag number is Texas KLG0053. So let me go to 22 minutes and 17 seconds because I don't want to play this whole video. So I'm walking back to my car. Hold on, bear with me one moment. I'm going to go to 22:17. Let me see. Oh no, that's that same white car that I'm walking by it. So I gotta find. Let me see. 22:17. Oh no, I pressed the wrong one. Let me see. I think it's the right one. Okay. Bear with me one moment. So I'm passing that white car. I'm walking to my car, and as you can see, there's people there. There's about a group of people, about 6 people. Some of them are behind the car, and here's my car. So my car is like an orangish reddish, and there's an orangish reddish car here, and another one over here, and there's a group there. So bear with me one moment. I'm going to keep going to go to 23:07. Let me see, 23 minutes. 27:03. So as I'm leaving this place, I noticed a guy, he was in the supermarket when I was there. He didn't buy any groceries, and he was following me around in the store. So every time I passed down an aisle, he would whistle, and then he would stop.
He won't whistle at no one else. Now, I've mentioned in the past that I've experienced this at supermarkets. If you really want to see how sick they are, watch this video called Gang Stalking, Research Video Notes. This video proves that not only am I being stalked in a highly coordinated manner, that these people are doing this with intent to cause me psychological harm. It's really sick what they're doing. So let me go back to the supermarket. So you see, remember I passed a car in the supermarket yesterday night with its lights blinking. When I first got there, there was a white car there. I'll have to show the clip later. I go back to my car. There's only red cars huddled up right there. I got people whistling at me, and then as I leave, if you watch that video right here, you will see they will whistle only when I pass by them, and that's it. And they will carry backpacks sometimes. So let me go back here. This is when I'm leaving the supermarket. Car is the same color as your car. Now, if you were to look at this whole shopping center, you will notice that there's no one in a group next to a red car. When we look over here, where my car was parked, you will see there's a group of people. Now watch this. I'm going to raise the volume up all the way because it may not come out. The guy whistles, the guy that was following me around, whistles once I pass by, and is carrying a book bag and isn't buying any groceries. And then look at, you see him? And he's carrying a book bag. And he was there parked, he parked there once I got there seconds later. So let me go over here. So once I'm leaving, let me see, it's right around here somewhere. I'm just fast forwarding it because it's over 40 minutes of, so now I'm leaving the place and he parks somewhere else. I was parked in the very, very back of the supermarket because I'm not looking for problems. And he moves his car right here and enters into a black SUV, which I didn't record. I got the hell out of there because it just seemed really fishy. Now, let me show you today's videos in that same exact place that I went to. So I showed you yesterday's videos. Now I'm going to show you today's. So let me see if this is it right here. Right now, I'm headed. This is not it. Let me see. This place, take a walk. Hold on a second. I'm headed. This place. No, this is not it. This is not it. This is it right here. Now look at this. Now remember that white car that was there yesterday with its headlights blinking? Look at all these empty parking spaces. Whole parking lot. And yesterday I came through here, I made a video. So when I park my car, this guy right here, it's JVN8152. He has the United States Air Force logo on his car. It's a white vehicle. There's a U.S. Air Force logo right there. Okay, my battery had went out for a second there, so I had to put another battery in. So you see that there's plenty of parking spaces. United States Air Force. So is it the United States Air Force? Now, if you remember the day prior, I went walking there. A white car was there with its headlights blinking, and when I first got to this place yesterday to go walking, it was a different car there with its headlights. Its emergency lights blinking. So when I get back to the same spot, there's another car there with its headlights blinking. Different model car. So as you can see, bear with me one moment. I'm at the same exact place I was yesterday. Remember my car was over there, but I decided to walk around because there was a group of people there. Walk around to go to the front of the end of my car because I don't know if these people are dangerous. So let me keep going. Here, bear with me one moment. So I need to go to video 3, which shows me leaving the parking place. This is the same place, same day. This is minutes later. I'm doing little clips. As I'm walking out of this place, I notice. Okay, right now I'm walking back to my car. Just pause the video. No, bear with me one moment. This is not it. It's actually in the same video. So as you can see. As you can see, there's plenty of parking spaces. Who the hell goes to a supermarket and parks off the side of the road? And it's a fire zone lane. So let me keep going here. So I'm just going to fast forward it. Bear with me one moment. Let me see if I can get this car's information. So it's okay. Let's see here. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to fast forward it. So look, I'm walking, and then there's another car there, and its license plate. Let me see if I have it on here. I actually don't. So bear with me one moment. So I'm walking past that white car.
Crap when I pass by. So what I do is,
I'm doing my daily walk.
anytime, bring stuff. Cars
So you see there.
parked on the side.
So it's DXX9485. Now what I find strange is that the parking lot has plenty of parking spaces. This person, I seen them come back to their car. I went for a walk for an hour. Right when I come back, they get in their vehicle. Check this out.
Okay, right now I'm walking back to my car.
Now, if you look at my video about HHS, you will see it's called harassed by X HHS. Let me see, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Harassed by X HHS employee. You will see the type of skits they play. They come out right when you pass by. These people are involved in surveillance. So I'm walking back to my car. An hour later. So let me fast forward a little bit. So
look at this. These people driving this
these people get back to the car. You can see their back lights are on.
car when I get back.
The side door is open right there. You can see the side door is open. None of these people are disabled. They're walking fine. There's plenty of parking. I mean, there's no lack of parking. I mean, I've gone to a lot of supermarkets. I've seen a lot of strange crap. But as you can see, this parking lot,
Space is all through here. Why would you park
I mean,
out the street?
parking is available everywhere. So let me go back to this video right here.
Now, see, remember yesterday I made a video how
I want to see if I can show you the front of it. Now you see it. That is a BMW. Now remember my video called Ice Black Box? Could this be the same BMW with a different tag? Because we all know that these agencies use bogus tags at times. It almost looks like the same BMW. Maybe it's not. But this is what's even more strange. In the state of Texas, you're required to have a license plate on the front of your car. Well, this is the only car that I've seen with no license plate the whole entire day. And yesterday, this was the only car that I've seen with no... where is it at? No, it's another car. I'm missing some stuff. I have other videos I'm not adding because I have to do a lot of editing. I'm just trying to make it simple. So this was today. Yesterday I had the same experiences, and these people don't have front tags. These people have something to hide. So this was made a while back. I have like almost 14,000 views here. So I don't have my contacts on. I can't really see too good right now. So anyways, watch this video so you will understand what I'm experiencing and understand that these people are utilizing NLP. Watch this video. So when you watch this video, you can understand the tactics that these people are using on me. It's sick, it's unconstitutional, and they are somehow tracking me. And I'm assuming it's because of my OnStar, my cell phone. I'm sick of it. I've asked the police for help. I've asked the government for help. And I want these people brought to justice. I want this crap stopped. This is not right. This is unethical. Okay, I made this blog, and at the very end of it, it comes out COUK. When I named it don'tkillyourbaby.blogspot. And I'm logged in right now. Let me refresh my browser. That way you can see this is all for real. This is no playing around. See, here it goes white. It's about to refresh. That way you can see what I named my blog. It's called right here, don'tkillyourbaby.blogspot.
Now I'm here in Texas, and let me refresh this page again, so that way you can see here what's going on. It should go. Let me refresh it again. Yes, there's the X, so it's refreshing. So here it comes up. Now it is refreshing right now. Let's look at the domain name. And what's strange is that I actually made a Craigslist ad here. Let me see. It's called Documenting Infraguard and DH style gang stalking in supermarkets. So it's literally being terrorized in supermarkets. And above, when I make that post, I get this. This is child safety alert, and it says kids alive. And guess where this comes from? It comes from the UK. So I started to do research on why I'm being attacked even more. And I found out that this organization here, I guess it's feminist.org, I have nothing against them. I'm just voicing my opinion that I'm against late-term abortions at 7 and 8 months, and I don't see anything wrong with them. I'm not speaking bad about no one. They support it, so I put their link there. And they are a British newspaper, magazine for this feminist organization. And I started to see that the NSA has contracts with, I guess, New England, Canada, New Zealand, pretty much the same places where the majority of people that are complaining about gang stalking are being gang stalked here in the U.S. and around the U.K. and all these NATO countries. So, I can't understand why I have my link like this. And matter of fact, let me go ahead and copy it. Let's see what happens here. There's no forwarding. There's no nothing. I'm using this link. This warning. This is disabled. There's nothing. That's where my link's supposed to go to. So let's do it again here. Let's put it up here, and let's see what happens. Because this is just awfully strange. Okay, there's my link, and look, it comes up to this link, to the UK. I can't understand why this is happening. So I'm thinking that someone may have got my link and is, I guess, forwarding it somewhere else. I don't know. I just find this so awfully strange. So pretty much it. I'm being targeted. I think I mentioned this. Here's the link that I have in here. See, this is don'tkillyourbaby.blogspot.com. And let's click it. Let's see what happens. So this is just some awfully strange stuff. Don't kill your baby. And let's see where the link goes. Look at this. So I find it strange. When I was in Albuquerque, I had this car. I had a UK tag, no US tag, and it came out of past my house in a very crazy manner. And then I had a car just like mine. It was a man and a woman. They did the same thing, this little U-turn. I had people staging accidents. I had these people. There was one woman and a man. They were in a Jeep, and there was two cars. One was like a red color Ferrari, and the other one was a black one. And they were all driving with no tags. And they were kind of like telling me. So I've been going through this for a while now. I guess I'm dealing with some very rich people that don't like what I'm saying, but in America we have freedom of speech, and I can't help it. I'm against this. I don't see nothing wrong with making a blog saying that I'm against that. I'm not against the group, but I'm against late abortions, and I just don't promote it. I'm nothing against them, but I don't promote. I don't believe in abortions. So I haven't said anything bad about no one, but I just put some links there that way people know groups and different things that, just how I feel in general. So it's pretty much it. I guess we're living in a prison state where people can't even voice their opinions.
Greetings. Now, gang stalking is a team sport. It requires people to work together as a team. There are many people that experience persistent harassment that are targets. And I'm going to share with you some of the examples. This is all from 2019. So let's say right now you park your car and you have families following you around. Maybe they whistle once you exit your car. Maybe they start whistling once you exit the store. These people are not gang stalkers. I'm just giving you an example. Prior to this, I did have some families harass me. And then you might walk by a car and the person may start whistling. They may utilize different NLP tactics. It's also known as neurolinguistic programming. It's being embedded into community policing tactics. It's done to degrade people. It's a form of psychological warfare. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of subject experts in DHS observing these people. So what these people will normally do is they will have people go into stores. They'll be dressed in black, and they will go around and monitor you. And they may have someone that will, make their presence known as you're walking. They'll start waving at you. When you go in the store, you may have people start waving at you. Those are different NLP tactics as to let you know you're being watched. So let me go through here, and I've complained to the police about this before. It's done very, very discreetly. So let's say every time you go shopping, wrong picture. Let's say if every time you go shopping, you grab 2 papaya juices, and then someone else grabs the same exact thing, and this happens every time you go shopping. They get behind you buying the same exact items every single time. Not for like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but every week, 2 or 3 times a week for years. And it sounds crazy if you were to go to police and mention this. So I decided to dig deep and try to figure out what was going on. And what I found out was people were contacting loss of prevention. That can be in Dallas, be in Killeen, Texas, and there is a 24-hour network all across America in our major cities tied to Fire Corps, FBI, and these people will share your location. They'll have these different types of tracking tools. They have like a Stingray technology, GPS tracking, and so on. They have all types of tracking tools, so that are even hard to detect, and they can't even a jammer won't even stop it. So and don't get a jammer, don't use it, it's illegal. So this will go on everywhere you move, and when you complain about it, you sound crazy. If you were to tell the cops, say every time I go shopping, I have someone getting behind me buying the same exact items as me. I've gone to stores where I've bought $120 in food, and then I have someone getting behind me with a Mountain Dew wearing a suit. And then the next week later, I see that same person getting behind me with a suit. They also use kids. I have a tremendous amount of proof of this. And they will encourage citizen support programs, their stakeholders. I'm sure they communicate with your constables, the COPS program, volunteers in police service. There's all types of volunteer programs for people to get involved in policing. So they have to practice on something. So who are they going to practice on? The marginalized people, the people they feel like they're unworthy of living in the community, the people they feel like are least likely to sue. And those are going to be the people they target. Now, it is a form of community mobbing, it is degrading, and I've experienced it in more than one state, and I've persistently complained about it. So what these people will do is, they will contact your loss and prevention. I had no idea about this until I went to a Senate meeting, and you can find the video on my Twitter channel. My username is gangstalking201, and I had this guy every time I would walk by to get a sip of water on a break or go to the bathroom, he would whistle in my face. And I had neighbors doing this. Once I passed by, I can be with family. Then I would see cop cars at night, go to their places and communicate with them. So citizen support programs are tied to this movement. They're training people in these type of tactics. And I've shared videos about what they're doing. So I'm sure my targeting is going to increase everywhere I go, because now I'm considered as an enemy, because I know the secrets behind all these programs that are filled with judges, Freemason judges, and Department of Justice. They support this. So along with our fusion centers, which are ran by state governors, lieutenant governors, and a bunch of politicians. They know about these programs because I've written hundreds of people and no one has responded back. So that implies that there's some type of guilt by association, or that they're willing to keep a secret, even if it leads to a problem. So what these people will do is they will pass by. Let's say this lady right here, she's staring at me, and she has a cart. She comes through past 10 aisles, 10 cashiers, probably more, and she just leaves a cart there full of food. Now, prior to this woman right here, also wearing boots, she passes by me, and she excessively starts whistling, but not in a flirtatious manner. She didn't turn her head when I passed by her. She didn't acknowledge me, nothing like that right there. That's part of the tactics. So this happens so many times where I was about to exit and someone will leave a cart full of food, and they may have their meats, in a typical little bag, but nothing here is bagged by a cashier or a bag boy. So if you were to go to a Walmart, let me give you an example here. If you were to go to a Walmart supermarket and here you're paying for food, and every time you're about to leave, someone whistles at you. It can be a man, a child, even families get involved in this. And you see someone pass by 10 cashiers, and you're, buying food, and then when you walk out, you notice the same scenario over and over again. Well, what would you think? So I would normally normally when this would happen, I guess they know my pattern. Normally I would go and buy food, and then I'd wait for another cashier to buy e-liquid, and they just go ahead, and because there was none around at the time, I just figured they were all busy, so I figured I'll just ask one of the front cashiers to get it for me. So they would pass by me with a cart full of food, and they would just leave it. And that's happened numerous times, over and over and over again. So I went to Target one day, and I noticed that my Snoop Snitch app was going off repeatedly. And my exact location button, I seen the page come up, said exact location, emergency management, responders app. All types of crazy stuff started happening. So I'm walking in there, and the guy, is on this, he has this headpiece on. He works for security, loss and prevention. And when I walk in, they say, okay, there he is. This guy's wearing, this type of clothing, black sandals, a green and black watch. And I'm like, what? So they call them, and it's not because you're going to steal anything. It's a way to degrade and demoralize you everywhere you go. I've had this happen in Florida where, let's say I go on a vacation to California to help a relative move, or visit someone that's dying, and I fly back, then I drive 80 miles the next day to another town to go to a workforce center, and then I'll have someone come out and say, how was your trip to California? When I've never been there before. And I figured out how this is being conducted. It's being conducted through citizen support programs, secret services, and clandestine agencies, and police agencies working in conjunction with fusion centers and corporations. It's done very, very discreetly. It's done in a manner which the average private investigator and counterterrorism specialist would not see unless they had many years of experience. I would say a good 10 years of experience. The average private investigator is not going to notice this stuff unless someone was to fully break down and explain what they're going through. Then they would be able to detect it. So imagine every time you go to buy groceries, you experience this. And I used to have a management position in a grocery store when I was a kid, and if I see someone go towards the front of a Walmart or a public shopping center with a cart full of food and pass by 10 cashiers, like nothing is wrong, and then turn their cart around and walk out of the store, that would tell me that something isn't right. Someone would confront them, because this place was packed with store employees. They were a little busy, but this person didn't try to pay for this food. They just went around, passed by 10 aisles, and left the cart. Something isn't going on. Something weird is going on. So I would notice this would happen every time I would go shopping. The last time I went shopping, I noticed that these people in 2 black SUVs parked next to my vehicle, extremely nicely dressed, and both of them were kind of leaning against the car, the very back of it, and just standing there. Once I got in my car, they left. And those are signs like, hey, we're not going to stop. And then when I got home, I received over 10 phone calls back to back with heavy breathing. And I've shared video footage of this with people, but nothing's been done. You know, I've contacted agencies, so I guess I'm gonna have to hire another private investigator. And normally the phone calls are back to back. It's back to back, and it's heavy breathing. You know, really scary conversations. I don't talk to them, so I wouldn't say conversations, like statements. And it's back to back, and this will put someone in a state of nervousness. It's different when you watch it, but when you're going through this and you're experiencing it, you're living it, it's a horrifying experience for even a child. Let's say you go through this and you go to McDonald's or Burger King, and then you have people harassing you. So this is what I experienced. So let me go here and I'll play the clip so you can get her tag. One of the Japanese people like to do is a lot of food and they walk out real quick. Now let's get this lady's tag. Her tag is GGT7231. Driving a Honda CR-V, and that's how they operate. So you will notice that sometimes these people will be dressed in black, and what they will do is they will have maybe someone here standing in black. They may have people. A lot of times they won't have cards, and they'll just be leaning against a wall, and it can be 4 or 5 of them. They can be leaning against a car, like here, parked next to your car, and you may notice this pattern. I'm just giving an example, like every time you go shopping, and this will happen every single time you go shopping. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to also mention that emergency management is involved in the communications. I truly believe a lot of these people are tied to the citizen support programs, and that their stakeholders, which are tied to to the military apparatus, they get their network engagement teams sometimes involved in this, and people need to realize that targeting is a team sport. It is a game for some people, and people make a living doing this. And they do use families. Like this family here hasn't harassed me at all, but I have in the past been harassed by families as I'm walking into stores and exiting stores. And a lot of times you'll notice stickers like it can be Block Watch, it'll have maybe FEMA, Department of Public Safety, and they'll have state jobs. I've actually caught these people, some of these people driving to state facilities, and they have state jobs in workforce. So if I'm experiencing this in supermarkets, what do you think I would experience when I go to work? Thank you for listening.